Hi everybody, this is Mark Long and welcome to another edition of the Long Riders. In this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about the critique assignment. It's one that I have all my classes do, whether it's first or second semester composition, a literature survey course, or technical and professional writing. And at first glance, most of my students think it's pretty easy because it's just a summary and a response to an outside essay, and it can only be 1 page long. But I'll tell you what, pretty quick they find out it's a little bit more challenging than they thought. So hey, let's get down to it and see what we can do to help you work smart, not grumpy. The basics of the critique assignment are simple. I hand out an essay that we haven't discussed in class, and then students write a detailed summary followed by a response of their own to a particular point or idea from the essay of their choice, and they do this all in the space of 1 page. The reason the critique assignment is set up the way it is to combat a certain kind of unspoken social contract that exists in most English classes. That is, teachers assign readings, students pretend to do the readings. When they go to class, teachers pretend the students have done the reading, and then the teachers just proceed to tell the students what they think they ought to know about the reading they didn't do. Then, when test time or paper time comes around, students just regurgitate back everything they remember that their teacher said about the reading they never bothered to do in the first place. Well, let me tell you, in some places they call that a swish, score, and a victory. But it's not an example of learning, analysis, or communication of your own results. And that's what the critique assignment is all about, people. The first thing to know about the critique assignment is that you're going to have to do a close reading of the essay, especially because it's not one that we will have already discussed in class. So that means you're not going to be able to read it just once or just twice, but you're looking at reading it at least 3 times so that you can get a handle on what it's saying from beginning to middle to end. Now the first time, just read through it and just get a basic idea on what is going on in it. The second time you go through it, start making some notes in the margin about particular pieces of evidence that stick out one way or the other, or thoughts that you're having as you go along. And then the third time you read through it is when you really start marking it up and start to get a handle on how it's being constructed as well as what it's saying, as I'm always saying, from beginning to middle to end. Once you have a handle on the content in the essay, what it's saying from beginning to middle to end, and what rhetorical strategies and what kinds of evidence the author is using to prove the points of the essay, that's when you're on your way to having your own informed response to what the essay is saying and or how it's constructed. So, what's the right thing to respond to? I don't know. That's because it's your response, not mine. This is not an elaborate game of guess what I'm thinking, which is what happens in a lot of English classes. Finally, as I said earlier, when most students hear that the critique assignment is only 1 page long, they're like, splee-ha! How hard can it be? It's only 1 page long. That's the dilemma. It can only be 1 page long. And you have a lot of information that you have to relay as clearly and concisely as possible in that 1 page. Both the detailed summary and a well-developed response of your own to a particular point or idea. And that means you have to make real choices, hard choices, about how to say what you want to say as clearly and directly as possible, conveying the most information in the fewest amount of words as directly as you can. Look, that's why most traffic signs have 1-syllable words on them. Stop, yield, merge. Okay, exit has 2. But you get my drift. You don't want people going up to a sign and having to read an essay to decide and figure out what it is that they're going to do. You just want them to know as soon as they see it. Those are the basics that you need to know before attempting your first critique. Now I'm going to post a couple of follow-up videos, one that has the 5 questions that you need to be able to answer in order to produce a good critique, as well as another one with advice about writing the critique itself. Remember, take what you can use and let the rest go by, because it's up to everybody to find their own way when it comes to learning and writing. So until I see you again, I'll be here waiting for you at the Long Riders.